Derek Lowe, the pitcher for the Dodgers, leading off against Ryan Dempster here in the top of the 5th inning. Lowe walked in his one plate appearance. Dempster has walked 4 and has given up 2 hits, 1-1 the count. Dodgers have left 5 men on base, including the bases loaded in the 3rd inning. Foul ball, 1-2.
Yeah, no question. Dodgers have had some opportunities. And it's tough sometimes with 2 outs. But, you know, they've had some opportunities to, you know, put a run on the board.
Dempster struck out Ethier in the 3rd inning with the bases loaded. And the count 2-2 to Lowe. On deck, the top of the order for the Dodgers, and Rafael Furcal. Dodgers were 8 games under 500 on the road this year. And the ground ball to shortstop Terrio retires Lowe, out number 1.
You know, you get to the postseason, these guys have sat around for a few days and talked about this game for the last 2-3 days, and you get out here and you just have to slow everything down. You don't, most guys want to speed things up. We saw a little bit of that, I think, from the pitching side. We've seen some of that from the hitting side. Hitters chasing balls out of the strike zone, pitchers overthrowing. Now we've kind of got to that point where the game is starting to settle down. Pitchers are starting to relax and throw strikes.
2 balls and no strikes to Furcal with 1 out. Dempster seemed to lose his rhythm at one point in the 3rd inning, and then in the 4th inning seemed to get it back. So we'll see if he continues along that line, although he falls behind 3-0. First time he's been behind a batter. 3-0 tonight. .30 pitch, a strike, 3-1. Got the high strike that time.
And it's a little easier for Dempster because he's got a 2-0 lead. He's got a little freedom, a little movement to get away with things.
Missing outside, ball 4, and that is the 5th walk issued by Ryan Dempster. They have left men on base in every inning but the 1st. Martin walked there and then was erased on a double play. 1-0 the count to the Dodger catcher as Lee goes over to the mound to talk to his pitcher.
Well, you're unique in this booth in many ways, Tony, but for us, you have a son. Congratulations. That's playing in the postseason.
Yeah.
Did you guys have a call, and did you give him impart some wisdom?
I tried to. You know, it's been a long year for him. He hadn't had a whole lot of playing time since early in the year. And going to the playoffs, I told him this is a time of year where somebody gets to be a hero. Somebody steps up and gets an opportunity.
And it could be you.
And hopefully it could be him. You know, this is a situation we saw last half inning where Terrio hit a ball between first and second for a base hit. Russell Martin's another guy who can handle the bat, same kind of thing.
And the pitch misses, so Dempster back to having his problems as he did in the 3rd inning, as he went to 3-0 to Furcal and behind 3-0 to Martin, with Manny Ramirez on deck for the Dodgers. Dodgers have had the opportunities thus far. And a strike, 3-1.
Here's a chance for us to take a look at our lead line. And you see, you know, Furcal is a guy who normally likes to run a little bit. Now, I don't know if he will because he's just coming back from injury, but 3-1, this is a perfect count.
That means 9 feet, by the way, as a fly ball out to right field. Fukudome, who was playing deep with the long run, making the catch to retire Martin for the 2nd out. But Manny Ramirez will come to the plate, representing the tying run. 53 RBIs in 53 games for Manny Ramirez, and going after the first pitch and getting a piece of it, strike 1. Talked about how he has really livened up the clubhouse. In fact, music, which had been verboten in the Dodger clubhouse, no longer. You walk into that Dodger clubhouse and the tunes are there.
Yep. We walked in today to go talk to Joe Torre, and they had it on full blast.
Big swing and a miss as Dempster challenged Manny right there, and it's 0-2. Now the crowd on its feet. Nothing they'd like more in a 2-0 game. And the tying run in the person of Manny Ramirez at the plate to get him on strikes. It's 1-2. And I guess, guys, he cut his hair somewhat.
Yeah, he did. Still Samson, though. With a bat.
One and two. Now back on the screen, but he was right on that pitch.
I can tell you what, all night long in that situation, Dempster's gone off speed. He's thrown the changeup. And there he challenged him inside a little bit, and boy, he just missed it.
So Manny Ramirez trying to deliver a dividend here in postseason the way he did down the stretch in the regular year. Runner at first, 2 down, 1-2. And it's 2-2 now to Manny Ramirez.
Well, it's interesting to watch the body language of Dempster. A lot of wiping of the brow, quick walking. Seems like his pace is picked up. That shows your heart rate ticking a little more. And so it will when you're facing Ramirez. Try to get him on that high fastball. Probably throw something in dirt here.
And the 2-2 pitch again, up and in, ball 3. And so Dempster having his problems. Any idea, Tom Verducci?
Well, Lou Piniella told me this is the worst command he has seen out of Ryan Dempster all year, and there's still a 0 up on the scoreboard. He thinks Dempster has just been too excited here, but the one thing he's been able to do, guys, is attack the first hitter of the inning. He's been great at that all season long. He got 76% of leadoff hitters during the season. That leaves a team only 2 outs to get a rally, and tonight, as shaky as he's been, he's got every leadoff batter except one.
Sports Illustrated's Tom Verducci. And Dempster with the 9th 3-ball count he's had in this game. And time called at the plate. Wrigley Field crowd has remained on its feet. And inside ball 4, and Ramirez walks. So 2 walks here in the 5th inning. That's 6 passes issued by Ryan Dempster. For the Dodgers in the 5th, and another good stop made by Giovanni Soto. He's had a couple of those, Tony, to make tonight.
Yeah, again, super job keeping that ball in front. Take a look at it. He slides his body over, gets that glove down, keeps it right in front, doesn't let it get away.
For everyday players, the tireless work you do 6 months before in spring training can pay off in October.
Just can't press a button.
You're absolutely right.
Here's the 1-0 pitch, fouled away, 1 ball and 1 strike. So that's the 100th pitch upcoming for Ryan Dempster. He has thrown 99, and Ethier, who struck out with the bases loaded to end the 3rd inning, trying to deliver here. He walked his first time up.
And that might have been the only fastball he's gotten to hit in these 3 at-bats he's had with guys on base.
In tight, 2-1 now.
Dempster's had him out in front of the split finger, out in front of the change.
So here is Ryan Dempster, who has been the struggling pitcher for the most part with 100 pitches, 6 walks, and men on base in every inning. But it's the Cubs who lead 2-0. But it's 3-1 now to Ethier, and in danger of loading the bases for James Loney.
With the wind blowing in, a 2-0 lead, Loney on deck. Dempster has looked like he's trying to pitch away from contact instead of to contact.
And on the phone is Larry Rothschild, the Cubs pitching coach, to the bullpen. Ethier with 20 homers and 77 runs driven in the regular season. And this pitch inside, ball 4. So 3 walks here in the 5th inning. And the Dodgers have loaded the bases for James Loney.
Well, you got a rookie, Samardzija, who's warming up. Sean Marshall has just early in his career. This is their first taste.
Well, Dempster's been able to get out of him.
Here's Loney. Swings and misses for a strike. He's 0 for 2. Popped to DeRosa and flied out to Soriano. So another opportunity for the Dodgers, and they've had plenty of them. The 0-1. And no balls and 2 strikes now. Dempster is ahead on the count, and now listen and watch the crowd. And just getting a piece of it. Crowd erupting, thinking that Loney had swung and missed, but he stays alive.
Well, it's obvious that Dempster really just trying to go after Loney with that split finger pitch. 3 in a row.
Yeah.
Real hard, though, to continue to throw that pitch down on the ground 4 and 5 times in a row. Usually one gets elevated.
And up high. Well, Soto has had to dig out a few in the dirt. This time he had to go skyway. And the high pitch, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Jeff Samardzija from Notre Dame, the right-hander. Sean Marshall in the bullpen. 1-2 pitch in the air to center field. Edmonds going back. Way back as Edmonds looking up. It's gone. A grand slam homer for James Loney. And the Dodgers have taken a 4-2 lead. You can hear a pin drop here at Wrigley Field. Finally, Ryan Dempster, who's been on the brink in this game, giving up the big hit. The Dodgers leaving the bases loaded in the 3rd, but capitalizing here after Dempster walked the bases loaded. No, 1 strike to count to Kemp, and a line drive base hit to left center field. More and more you get the appearance it's not Dempster's night as the ball goes all the way up to the ivy, and a double for Matt Kemp. So Loney with the grand slam home run, and now Kemp and Lou Piniella will come out and make the pitching change here in the 5th inning. And it'll be the left-hander Sean Marshall. That's Loney's deep drive to center field. We'll be right back. Here is Blake DeWitt. 1 for 2, singled up the middle last inning. Ball 1 outside. So here's Ryan Dempster, who came in with 14 of his 17 wins at Wrigley Field, and driven from the mound after 4 2/3 innings. In close, nearly hitting DeWitt. Count is 2-0.
This game's always been the same. You just cannot tempt the baseball gods when you have a lead and you keep continuing to walk hitters.
Yep.
Somehow it's going to come back on you.
Sooner or later, somebody's going to make you pay, and it happened quickly. He was, Loney was down in the count 0-2.
Matt Kemp with the lead after the double, and the fastball on the outside corner. 2 balls and a strike to DeWitt, hitting 7th in the Dodger order tonight. So 7 walks issued by Ryan Dempster, 2 singles before the grand slam homer by Loney over the ivy in center field. Fouled out of play.
This game's always been the same, Tony, hasn't it? Those first 2 strikes can be easy to get. It's that last one that's always the tough
Finishing
one.
the deal. That's exactly right. We talked about it. Manny Ramirez's bat, same thing. He jumped ahead 0-2 and tried to get him to chase. He wouldn't bite. He wouldn't bite. He wouldn't bite. He ends up walking. Ethier comes up to the plate. Same thing. Ends up walking.
Marshall checks Kemp, and the breaking pitch gets DeWitt on the strikeout. 8 men come up for the Dodgers in the 5th. 3 draw walks, but the big blow was James Loney's grand slam homer. And the Dodgers leading the Cubs now 4-2, middle 5th.